Die Hard is frequently hailed as one of the greatest action movies ever made. The film stands as a pivotal force in reshaping the action genre, steering it away from the muscle-packed dynamics that characterized the 1980s. Let's take a look at how Die Hard redefined the landscape of action movies and ushered in a new era for the action hero. In the initial stages of Die Hard's production, the film did not take the form we recognize today. Surprisingly, it was initially conceived as a Rambo in an office building movie. It wasn't until John McTiernan, fresh from the success of Predator, agreed to direct Die Hard that the film began to evolve into the iconic piece we now know. McTiernan sought to infuse the movie with a sense of joy, steering away from the prevalent theme of mean and nasty acts found in other action films of the time.
This is their idea of Christmas. I gotta be there for New Year's.
One of the film's writers, Jeb Stuart, played a crucial role in reshaping Die Hard's narrative after a personal revelation stemming from an argument with his wife. Stewart introduced a central theme involving a man who prior to a catastrophic event should have apologized to his wife. Drawing from the marital challenges of his peers, including divorces and ex-wives reverting to the maiden names, Stewart crafted a flawed hero who learns a profound lesson in the midst of adversity. The focus shifted towards making the audience emphasize with McClane, his wife Holly, and the potential for reconciliation.
That was my wife Holly Gennaro.
Holly McClane.
Die Hard's second writer, Stephen E. DeSouza, contributed to the film by ensuring the antagonist, Hans Gruber, played a more substantial role. Stephen adopted a unique approach, treating Gruber as if he were the protagonist rather than a conventional villain. He consciously avoided portraying the terrorists as mere antagonists, deeming them too mean. Instead, he chose to delve into their motivations, shaping them as thieves, exceptional thieves, driven by monetary pursuits rather than delving into their political affiliations.
When Alexander saw the breadth of his domain, he wept, for there were no more worlds to conquer.
In this way, Die Hard's transformation during its early production stages not only altered its genre trajectory, but also laid the foundation for a film that transcended the stereotypical action movie formula, focusing on nuanced character development and unconventional narrative perspectives.
You got any kids back on your ranch?
Yeah, 2. Sure hope I can see him swinging on a jungle gym with Al Jr. someday.
But Die Hard represented a substantial risk for the studio, given that none of its cast members were established names at the time. Alan Rickman, primarily known for his work in theater, possessed only a handful of minor credits in smaller TV series. Similarly, Bruce Willis, far from being a recognizable movie star, was mostly known for his role in the comedy show Moonlighting. The studio, cautious about his lack of prominence, scarcely promoted him or his name. In fact, the original Die Hard poster omitted Bruce Willis entirely, making it challenging for the audience to even discern his name. It was only after the film achieved blockbuster success that the studio added Willis's face to the promotional materials and adjusted the font size to acknowledge his newfound stardom. The course of Die Hard could have taken a dramatically different turn, given the initial involvement of numerous established names before filming commenced. Notably, the producers were bound by obligations to offer the lead role to the legendary 70-year-old Frank Sinatra, who had previously starred in the prequel, The Detective, released in 1968. This film, an adaptation of Roderick Thorpe's novel with the same name, went on to become one of the highest-grossing movies of 1968. Despite Die Hard being only loosely inspired by Thorpe's 1966 novel Nothing Lasts Forever, Sinatra still held a contractual commitment for a potential sequel. Fortunately, Sinatra declined. But Sinatra was not the sole contender for the role of John McClane. A roster of renowned actors, including Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Clint Eastwood, Mel Gibson, and even James Caan, were all considered for the iconic role. The array of potential casting choices further underscores the uncertainty and risk surrounding Die Hard's production when they decided to go with the more unknown Bruce Willis.
Thanks for the advice.
Bruce Willis was the embodiment of John McTiernan's vision to break away from the prevailing trends of action films. In an era where the 1970s emphasized adrenaline-fueled car chases and the 1980s showcased larger-than-life superhumans, McTiernan aimed to present a protagonist who defied these stereotypes. Choosing Bruce Willis to portray John McClane was a deliberate move to infuse the character with a more grounded feel. Willis's everyman persona played a pivotal role in conveying the crucial notion that the hero could indeed fail. In an interview with the New York Post, Willis said that we spent a lot of work making John McClane a vulnerable, ordinary guy. He's not some superhero, some Rambo. He's tired and he feels pain and he's afraid. This conscious effort to humanize McClane extended beyond physical vulnerability to encompass emotional aspects, allowing audiences to connect with a character grappling with fear and uncertainty.
She's heard me say I love you 1,000 times. She never heard me say I'm sorry.
McClane's greatest quality lies not solely in his toughness, but in his humanity. He becomes a relatable figure, one we can empathize with. In McClane, viewers find a representation of their own fears, anxieties, and irrational hopes. This departure from larger-than-life action hero archetype marked a significant shift in the genre, solidifying Die Hard's legacy as a film that not only defied conventions, but also redefined the very essence of what an action hero could be.
Mr. McClane, now that it's all over after this incredible ordeal, what are your feelings?
The evolution of Die Hard from its initial Rambo in an office building concept to its subsequent influence on the action genre is evident in the franchise's trajectory. Die Hard inspired a series of films that followed a similar formula. Whether it was Die Hard on a plane, Die Hard on a bus, Die Hard on Alcatraz, or other iterations, the template became a recognizable and often emulated structure in the action movie landscape.
You know my name, but who are you? Just another American who saw too many movies as a child?
However, as Die Hard expanded into a larger franchise, a noticeable shift occurred. The later movies, while part of the same series, seemed to deviate from the essence that made the first one a monumental success. The franchise, perhaps unintentionally, found itself back in the same lane as the action movies of the 1980s, featuring protagonists with heightened capabilities and scenarios that pushed the boundaries of realism.
She just killed a helicopter with a car.
I was out of bullets.
This divergence in the later films from the grounded and relatable hero of the first Die Hard serves as a reminder of the distinctive impact the original had on the action genre. It not only set a new standard, but also highlighted the challenge of maintaining the authenticity and uniqueness that made Die Hard a revolutionary force in cinematic storytelling.
Favorite action movie?
Die Hard.
Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yeah! She wrote down what is Die Hard, which is a Christmas movie.
Die Hard, a Christmas movie.
Emphatically, yes.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie.